Where do we begin? Justin McInerney from the Sydney Swans here. Just spoke to the boys before, loved it. Let's get into it.
Thanks for that, Justin. My name is Harper and my co-host is Lockie. How are you, Lockie?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks, mate. You know, I'm super excited to sit down and have a chat with Justin. He's a great man. I'm super appreciative that he could jump on and talk a bit about his career. You know, he's an absolute legend, and I'm just pumped for everybody to hear it.
Yeah, of course, he's Sydney Swans players, real up-and-comer, great youngster to keep your eyes on in the next few years in the AFL. And if you're a Swans fan, I reckon you will love this episode. And having said that, should we just get straight into it, Lockie?
Let's dive in.
Now, if you've been watching any footy in the last few years, you'll know that the Swans team is chock full of young guns, and one of those young guns goes by the name of Justin McInerney, and he's on the show today. Welcome to the show, Justin.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Mate, it's an absolute pleasure. You know, I think you've left my Facebook friend request pending for about 6 years now, but jumping onto the podcast, I think that makes up for it. So thanks for that, Justin.
Got too many of them. Sorry about that.
Jeez, talk it up, mate. So, you know, the first question, we'll start off with a real tough one, mate. What have you been up to the last couple of months?
Not much, to be honest. Ever since the season ended, when I got back down to Melbourne, just got stuck in a bit of COVID, to be honest with you boys. But obviously it wasn't as bad. They all started changing when I got down, so maybe it was a magic formula.
Yeah, geez, were you tempted to just stay in Sydney, or were you always going to come back down?
I was always coming back down eventually, but came back down a bit earlier. So
what sparked that?
Just seeing the boys.
See the boys, mate. You missed your brother Chris too much.
Yeah, for sure.
But just for our listeners, so we're meant to record this a bit earlier, but Justin had a little bit of a sleep in. It's because he did a massive running session yesterday, and as you know, sleep is the key to recovery. So it's good to see that he's taking his pre-season and off-season very, very seriously and making sure he gets the maximum sleep and maximum recovery times. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's pretty much to it.
Pretty much
all there is to it.
Yeah, I hear you've been running marathons every second day, so Big Johnny Longmire will love to hear that. But you're heading back up midweek, you were telling us?
Yeah, it's going back next on this Wednesday, so a couple of days, and then get back in it on Monday, so should be good.
Jeez, looking to that, Justin, mate. Looking forward to getting back into another big pre-season.
Yeah, it should be great fun. It's just all the young boys, I'm pretty sure, so boys going to run a mark.
Yeah, it's interesting because we spoke to St Kilda's Hunter Clark last week, and he said it was pretty much like when you include pre-season, it's like a 12-month season. Like with pre-season, by the time the season ended, it's pretty hectic, and you're already getting back into it, aren't you?
Yeah, but they gave us a fair break as well, so can't complain really.
Yeah. But we might just head back about 20 years or so, back to your early life. Growing up, of course, down here with us in Melbourne. Tell us a bit about your early footy supporting life and playing life, I guess.
Played with Chris a couple of times, which is great.
Who's Chris for our listeners? We know he's a big name, but not everybody knows him.
Chris is my brother, one of the greats. I started off at McLeod and then moved over to played a few games with Chris at McLeod, but I was in the couple of years below, just filled in, and then moved to Banyule and played through school, Marsland College, and that was about it. Ended up getting my chance.
Yeah, mate, you had a great story. So correct me if I'm wrong, but say you were running around in the twos, kicking the dew off in year 11, playing in, I think one of our friends, Ricky, calls it lunchtime footy, the reserves footy. And, and you managed to get drafted a year later. Talk a little bit about that year 11 year for you.
Well, yeah, I started in the twos. I didn't actually play the twos the whole year, but as a lot of people may think, but I was in the twos for nearly the whole year except for the last game, but I was also playing. We're not playing, but I was at Knights development, so wasn't actually in the squad. And then got a call up from the Magoos to the ones, and in the last game we played at Assumption, then just stayed in from there and ended up playing in the granny. So played three games and two of them were finals. So just couldn't have timed it any better, to be honest.
Mate, pretty massive. And if I'm correct in saying you went on to win that grand final and you won the Premiership, the three-peat.
We didn't. I think I was best on. No, I actually hardly got on the ground. I didn't play a minute in the first half, and then would have played maybe 20 minutes all up. So
Did you have the green vest on, the sub vest?
Yeah, had the green vest, and eventually got my chance.
Now, mate, we hear you're a big Carlton fan, actually, and we've actually got a question on Facebook. You can check us out at Where Do We Begin on Facebook. It is from Campbell Hodgetts. He asks, who as a junior inspired you to want to be an AFL player?
I loved Juddy. Juddy was my he was probably the main one, but my favourite player was I liked Brad Fisher back in the day, so he was probably my favourite player. But Juddy was the one that I watched. So
yeah, mate. Well, I've got a little. I was doing a bit of research before we did this.
We love our research on this podcast, don't we, Harps?
Yeah. We're big on the research here. Looked up Justin McInerney on YouTube. See if there's any interesting little interviews going about. And there was this thing from 7 years ago, and it's one of the strangest bit of footage I've ever seen. It's got like a league, league teams, that old Fox Footy show, and AFL 360 and Nerily Meadows, and they're all saying there's a new big inclusion for the 2013 grand final. They never say your actual name, but there's a little graphic that comes up, Justin McInerney, so a 13-year-old kid.
Do you remember doing that?
Catch jumper on. What's going on there?
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, mate, you've got a Geelong scarf on and everything, mate. Well, do you remember doing that?
No idea.
No idea.
Not one bell is ringing in my head.
No,
I'll send you the link.
That is extremely odd. If you really don't remember doing that, there must be some other Justin McInerney going about in footy circles that's the same age as you, mate, because that was one of the weirdest bits of footage I've seen in a long time.
I loved it though, mate. You're
going to have to send it to me. I got no idea what you're talking about.
All right, but moving on a bit. So massive Carlton fan growing up. I know your whole family is, and so Chris Judd. So were you... You'd go to the footy every week and just love it. Is that sort of what you got up to?
Yeah, pretty much. Brother and sister just rolled up most times in Melbourne and just went to the footy basically. That was about it every week.
So obviously, getting back onto, I guess, your story. So you played in that Marsden Premiership, and then from there you got drafted into the Northern Knights squad. What was that pre-season like for you, going from sort of playing more local footy and school footy into TAC Cup?
Yeah, it was pretty tough, but it wasn't too bad because we had a great bunch of boys at the night, so we basically just enjoyed it, to be honest. A lot of other we just did whatever we wanted, and then the weights getting in the weights was probably the toughest part. I couldn't even bench 40 kilos, so that was probably the hardest part, doing weights. But no, it wasn't too bad, actually. Just enjoyed it with all the boys.
It's interesting that you touched on that, because I know something that Harper wanted to ask was how do you go being obviously a smaller frame compared to some of the big bodies that you have to play to, and in the AFL competition, and even I guess some of the TAC Cup, there's still some big boys going around there.
To be honest, it's probably just playing to your strengths, really. Just when you have to go, you got to go, but trying to avoid the big boys as much as you can. It's not too bad. Obviously you don't want to be one-on-one with some of the big fellas, the big centre forwards in the competition in the goal square, but leave that to the other boys to do. You just do what you can, basically.
That's very much what I do, mate. Stick to the outside ball. I don't reckon I've had a contested ball for a few years, but then I haven't had many disposals, so I can't. I'm on struggle street with that. But mate, we're doing our research. So you were an elite runner. You ran a sub 52 second 400 meters.
Yeah. Funny story about that. I did the what's it called, the athletics for school, and then ended up running pretty well. So my pastoral leader was the athletics coordinator, and then ended up going there to run. And I actually had an interview with a club, so I couldn't do what I was there. I was meant to do the 200, so I couldn't do it. So I had to run the 400, and then I ended up just running the 400 and blitz. Well, yeah, running pretty well, but I still couldn't win. So
you didn't win. What did you come?
So I ran second, so I was flat with that. But
Bloody hell,
yeah,
Usain
I
Bolt
wasn't-
is
I
racing
wasn't-
down at the school AFS championships. Bloody hell, mate.
So I wasn't even meant to run, but yeah, got there.
Yeah, mate, like, obviously you were pretty, like, obviously quick, skinny guy back in your high school days. And the 3 years I played junior footy, 6 years ago, something now. It's kind of, like, when you're a skinny guy, I reckon the coaches look at you, or whoever's on your team looks at you, they're kind of judging you before you can even start playing a bit. Do you reckon you received any of that kind of stuff?
Oh, not really. Maybe a bit when I was younger, but once you get there, like, it's just whatever. Like, whoever's playing well, or you get your opportunity. So maybe when I was younger, early, I think it may have when I was young before the Knights program, but because you get told you're a bit small, but after that, once you get there and start playing footy, it doesn't really matter what size you are, to be honest.
Yeah, were you always a gun as a junior? Like, were you always one of the best players in your teams growing up, or were you really just a late developer?
Early days, I was pretty good when I was real young, because we were all small. But then once we got middle ages, I wasn't too great, and then heated up a bit, if you could say, when I was about 16, 17. So yeah, it's brilliant.
There you go, mate. There you go. And so coming into your year 12, your draft year, so you tried out with Vic Metro, you didn't quite make it, so you're mainly playing school footy and TAC Cup. How did that go, mate? Were you playing really good, consistent footy?
Yeah, school footy helped a lot, actually. It was just, and nights, but basically just enjoying your footy. Like, those boys we just did whatever. We just rocked up, played on Fridays, didn't take it too seriously. Obviously, when it was game time, we switched on, but the lead up, we were just pretty relaxed, and then just got it done, really. So, it was good to just play the first few for nights, then get some time off at school, and then go again. So, got some continuity through school footy, and it was good.
Yeah. Just on that school footy thing, I think Marcus Bontempelli and Shuey and Josh Caddy maybe as well all went to Marcelin. But was there anyone, did you know any of those guys when you were there, or did you play with anyone that is in the AFL at the moment?
Not really. I didn't know any of them, but I played with Tyler Brown. He got drafted the year before, and then Trent Bianco, he was our team, but he was a year younger, so he got drafted last year. So
yeah, do you keep in touch with those boys or no?
Yeah, I still speak to him a bit. Still speak to Trent, so
yeah,
he's a good mate.
That's good. How'd you get, like, did you just get scouted at a particular game at Northern Knights, or were you always kind of in contact with a few teams that wanted to draft you?
Just basically got approached towards the end of the year. Didn't really have any interest throughout the year, and then as the year sort of ended, they all just started popping up. So that was about it. All came out of nowhere.
Yeah, perfect, mate. And I guess heading into the draft, did you speak to all the many clubs? Were you confident that you were going to get picked up, or were you still very much nervous?
I spoke to about 8, I think. But I didn't have. There wasn't too much pressure on me. I had my schoolies booked on the Saturday, and the draft was on the Friday. But
where were you heading?
To Byron with all the boys. So.
That would have been a massive trip, mate.
Would have been pretty fun, but ended up getting drafted on the Friday, so couldn't go. So, but it's fine.
Yeah. So you were straight into training that weekend with all the Swans boys, were you? Or?
We went straight up on the Sunday. So left on the Sunday and trained. Well, we didn't start training, but the other boys just watched training for the first couple of weeks and then got into it.
Yeah, it would have been hard saying goodbye to Kelby.
Would have been hard saying goodbye to the little fella. He's getting on now, though. He's getting on.
He is, mate, but he's still going strong. Kelby's the McInerney's family dog, for anybody listening at home wondering who that is. But I guess going into the draft, so did you talk to Sydney much? Were you confident that at pick 44 that's where you were going to go, or did you still think? Because remember speaking to Chris, there was sort of a bit of talk around pick 60, North Melbourne, Carlton was sort of where he thought that you might get picked up.
Sydney were my first club. Them and another club were the only teams that I spoke to twice, but Yeah, I thought I was going a lot later than 44, but yeah, it's good to get there.
Did that change anything? Like, once you got drafted, did a higher draft pick change anything in your mentality compared to if you were to go at like a 60 or something?
Not really. I didn't really think about it too much. Once you get there, they just basically say that it doesn't matter what pick you are, just like you don't have a tag, so it doesn't really matter whether you pick 44 or pick 50 in the rookie draft. So
Yeah, exactly, mate, exactly. But what was it like rocking up to the Harbour City and you go to training at the Bloods and you see Josh Kennedy, Lance Franklin, Luke Parker, a couple of absolute superstars. Like, what's it like training with them?
Players.
yeah, it was all the big dogs. It was good. It was real good actually. They're all great blokes. It's good to be up there with all the lads. So hopefully we just get another flag.
Yeah, were they like super kind of receptive to you straight away, or were you mostly hanging out with the younger guys at the start?
Well, I'm a little bit of a loudmouth, so a bit confident in my own abilities. But early on, I was pretty quiet until I really got out there. So I was just hanging around with the boys I got drafted with. But now it's fine, just hang around with whoever.
We'll move on to like your first season. Really, you're talking about your debut. What was that whole experience like? Just walking out in front of like an AFL crowd, like probably weren't expecting that 12 months earlier.
No, not at all. Wasn't my best game, obviously, but but no, the lead up was good. Getting told that you're going to play. Mum and Dad both of them were overseas, so Chris was my dad for the day. So him and Beck rocked up, which was good fun. But yeah.
Mate, were you expecting to get a game so early on into the season? Like round 4, that's pretty exceptional. You obviously impressed the right people in the pre-season.
No, not at all. No. Well, I thought I was a bit too small and for the big boys, but no, it was good to get an opportunity. It was probably good to get the game, even though I didn't do too much. Just gave me a little taste of it. So.
Mate, you would have been filthy because I don't remember that game that much. I watched because obviously Chris told me about it. But, mate, I remember you got a free kick and Alir took the advantage, mate. You needed that second kick. You would have been filthy, mate.
Yeah, it's still filthy to this day, actually. Just needed
that's why I got traded because you took your kick. You walked into the GM, mate. I'm still filthy. Alir took my kick.
Nah, he's one of the greats of the league. He's going to be missed. One of the best.
It does seem like an absolute legend. But obviously spend the rest of the year, I guess, just working on your game in the NEAFL. But how did you find that transition and move up to Sydney? Because I remember speaking with you at your brother's 21st. I remember my girlfriend Jamie, mate. She couldn't believe that you'd want to move out of home. She was shocked, if you remember that.
Yeah, I know. We got her thinking that I was just moving away. But,
kicked out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was kicked out of home. So, but no, it was good. They have a good program up there. So yeah, it was just they made it pretty easy moving with two other boys, with James Bell and Jack Mabel, which was good fun. Belly's a great character to live with. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, like you're walking into that. The change rooms and just the Sydney Bloods culture, the old cliche. Is that like a real thing, Bloods culture, or is it just a bit of an urban myth?
No, it's definitely a real thing. Harp on about it a lot of the time. So,
what is it? Just explain what the Bloods culture is and what it's about there, mate.
It's just a bit of a like a trademark sort of thing that that's how you go about it. That's how you go about your footy. That's how you go about your life, sort of thing. So when you're up there, it's just committed to the cause for the ones that have the history of the club, and yeah.
Yeah, do you get, like, obviously the Swans have had a couple of premierships in the last 15 years. Have you had, like, many of those premiership players come in, maybe speak to you about Bloods culture or any bits of advice for you?
Yeah, you do, definitely, yeah. I had a lot of them come in, but we still got, like, Kirky's still there. Todd Kennelly was there. A lot of the ones that were involved in it are still there. So, yeah, it's good to learn off them, and yeah.
Yeah, just on that, we've got another question from Facebook, actually. This one's from Clayton Robson. He wants to know the biggest mentor you've had at the Swans so far. I guess that could be a current player or an ex-player that's given you some tips.
Last year it was more just learning my craft off like Harry Cunningham when he was playing on the wing for a lot of the year. Even Ollie Florent before last year he was more a wingman. But then this year it's more just been with the midfielders, with Joey and Parks, and then also Jared McVeigh, who was the midfield coach. So they're the main ones this year.
Now, we've got another fan question because I'm quite intrigued by this, to be honest, Justin. It's from a James Hoffey. He wants to know, do you mind being nicknamed Seinfeld? I didn't actually know that was a nickname of yours. Is that a thing?
Got no idea what he's talking about either.
Do you know who James Hoffey is? Is he a mate of yours?
No idea.
That's a bit weird for you, James Hoffey, if you're listening, mate. But yeah, we'll talk about 2020 now. Obviously, like we've had, I think our last two guests have been current AFL players, and they have had mixed reviews about hub life. So tell us your experience of it. You had a bit less time in the hub than some of the Melbourne guys, but tell us about your experience.
Well, yeah, as you said, we had a shortened period, but for me it was great fun. We had a young list. We do have a young list, and we just embraced it basically. We were stuck in Brisbane for a little bit of time, just in a hotel. That wasn't as much fun. But then once we got out to Perth and Joondalup Resort, and then out to Cairns, it was just enjoyed it basically.
Yeah, what was Cairns like? Because you guys spent a couple of weeks up there. I've never personally been there. Was it just beautiful? Like, so different, I guess, to the other places. It's a bit more. So, so massive Carlton fan growing up. I know your whole family is. And so, Chris Judson,
there was no restrictions up there.
Footy every week and just love it. Is that sort of what you got up to?
Social distance and that, but like you could still go out and do whatever. The water was great, like just little rock pools and waterfalls and all that sort of stuff. So, Cairns is different, but it was nice.
So, so obviously,
one of your games
getting back onto, I guess, your story. So you played in that Marsden Premiership, and then from there you got drafted into the Northern Knights squad. What was that pre-season like for you, going from sort of playing more local footy and school footy into TAC Cup?
Tell us about that game.
Well, Pap's actually kicked me the ball, and he's one of my best mates up there. So as I was lined up, he just said, "Give me a bit," and I thought I had to kick it. I wasn't too far out and directly in front, so I just had my mind to the job and had to give the boys something.
Man, that's a team that you actually made your debut against Melbourne, so it would have been nice to get the win this time, and as well as the fact that you got the Rising Star nomination, mate.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it didn't be different result to the first game, but hopefully we just keep the ball rolling going into next year and get a few more.
Yeah, except I was actually a bit filthy, mate, because I had you in my Supercoach team for like the whole year, and obviously you didn't play for a couple weeks, and then I'm like, oh, look, I can't keep you on my bench, mate, so I had to trade you out, and then my opponent buddy had you. You scored 120 Supercoach points, and you cost me the win, mate.
Don't know why you was just. I could have been your little loophole, but yeah, you've lost faith in me. I'll remember that one. that Facebook request might need a pen there for a bit longer.
That game, you mentioned briefly the Rising Star there. Is that something that means anything at all, or is it just like something, oh yeah, that's good, maybe you do one or two interviews on the radio, or what's it like getting that?
Gain a couple of Instagram followers.
Yeah.
No, it was good. Good to get some recognition for some footy, but obviously, just all about the team and trying to get that done. So, just playing my role for the team to get a couple of wins.
Oh, give us a bit more, mate. You just love kicking the goal and that pass in the forward line. That was an elite pass. Tell us about that one. You know the one I'm talking about.
My celebrations were key. That's what I was speaking about earlier. But I had get a bit of stick from a high ball drop. So it's good to hit a few targets for once.
I was just going to say, I just want to head back to round one. Like, how weird was that lead up to the start of the season? You know, you didn't know if you'd be playing or not. Like, there's talking no crowds, mate. Like, was it sort of like a bit weird not knowing if you'd actually be playing on the weekend? Because it was only decided a couple of days before.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty weird, but we kept training. We ended up training in small groups, but we just practiced like we were going to play and ended up playing. And then 2 days later we got told that we're going home. So it was a bit of a roller coaster, but yeah, we just basically just got it done.
Yeah, just on that kind of similar theme, another Facebook question, actually. This one's from Rebecca Hamilton. Due to COVID, there were games this year where you played to near empty stadiums, obviously. So what was that experience like, and how do you think you will adapt to playing games in front of big crowds again?
Well, I only played the one game in front of a crowd. So for me, it basically was normal for me. But I think the main... Well, for me, what I thought was the main difference was just like if you're down and you start a little comeback and then the crowd gets up and about for momentum sort of thing. I thought that was it, but you block it out really. You don't need much. We had little crowds start coming back towards the end, but.
Did it feel like an AFL game still? Because I reckon the crowd would make such a big part of it. Like, it'd be so weird. Like, obviously playing your junior footy and stuff, you're used to not playing in front of too many people, but it must have been still real weird. That's like, all right, here I'm playing at the highest level, but there's going to be no cheers. There's going to be nobody there. It must have been just so weird. And then obviously the crowd missed out on the Isaac Heaney show in round one where he kicked 5 goals.
Yeah, it was a bit different, but yeah, you still practice train the same way, prepare the same way. So, yeah, you just got to try and switch your mind on to thinking it's a real deal. But the game we played against Port over there was we had a crowd, so that was great fun actually, getting to see the way they do it.
Yeah, now I've just got one more question on the hub life. We've asked our last couple guests this, so tell us about the food in your hotel or your resort or wherever you were staying. What was the
J-Mac loves his food.
Cuisine like out in the hub?
Well, yeah, I'm actually a pretty big eater for the size I am. So every time I'd put a plate in, I just ate the chicken and the rice, and that was about it. But yeah, our food was great. They were good. They handled it pretty well. So
yeah, Harry Perryman did say the food in Perth was unreal. So obviously you were up there. He was a big fan of the food up there.
Yeah, the food in Perth was probably the best we had. So it was.
There you go. But like in the hub life, so we spoke to our guest last week. Like, spoke about how they did a few pranks on players. Like they caught an eel and put it in somebody's bathtub. Did any of that happen in your hub?
No, not like that. We didn't do any set tricks like that. Ours was just a bunch of games and just fun and games for the boys, basically.
Did you get a room to yourself in the hub, or did you share with someone? Yeah,
room to yourself. Don't spend much time in the room except for when you're sleeping. No, well, I didn't anyways. But I had a room with 2 beds, so my room is the host room. So they've got the boys in there. This
is something I want to talk about. So in that first lockdown period, mate, you became a bit of a streamer on the AFL Gamers Network. Tell us a little bit about that. As I love to game myself, so I'm very interested in this.
Yeah, so I became one of the streamers and ended up getting my camera down. So I left my PS4 up in Sydney actually, so I haven't been able to get on. Need to get back into it, but might be a bit rusty on the way back. So it was just good to get just play without. Well, I play anyway, so just playing with the camera on, just give the fans something they.
Yeah, how was that though? Like, was it sort of cool? Because obviously, mate, streamers are making millions and millions of dollars. Is it something that you want to do more of?
No, well, I'm not too good at it, so.
Jake, you talk yourself up in the things. How good you are. Don't act. Come on, Jake. You rate yourself on the sticks.
I'm not. I'm good. 2K is my game, but I stream COD most of the time. That's what all the boys play, and I'm probably one of the worst COD players at the club. Just get carried, so can't see myself going very far there.
What about Fortnite, mate?
Fortnite, I thought I wasn't too bad at actually, but the boys think different. But I think I'm not too bad.
That's stiff, mate.
Yeah, mate, like, speaking about NBA 2K, it looks like you've got a basketball jersey on there. Who's that team?
Yeah, I've got the Vancouver. Me and my mate went to Caps the other day and got a few throwback jerseys, so it was good.
Got the Pipes hat as well, which we love, mate.
Yeah, inexistent.
Yeah, is it just like basketball and footy you're into? Are you a big fan of any other sports?
Yeah, I love the NFL as well.
Oh, yeah.
I like cricket.
Love getting run out in cricket, I hear.
Play that growing up. Yeah, the last game I played, I couldn't run. Need to just find the boundary more often.
We'll ask another listener question, I reckon, actually. So this is from Steph Knox, and she says, well done, first most, with a bit of a clapping emoji there. And she asks, what drives your passion towards football in general? Bit of a deep question there, Steph.
Thank you. Probably just probably just playing with the boys and doing what you love for starters, but then play for, you see how much it gives, how much joy it gives your family and all that. So they're the main reason you keep going.
Body oath, mate. I love that. So I guess heading into season 2021, mate, what are your goals? What are you looking forward to do to have a big year for the Swans, mate?
Goals is getting back in the park, getting fit and ready to go for another year, and hopefully...
I'm sure Chris has been doing your running program with you. He'd be very keen to do that.
He actually thinks he's a better runner than I am, so he reckons he's got me covered. But every time I ask him to try and show me up, he shies away and doesn't join me. So I did one session with him, I reckon, last year, and he wasn't too bad. So I'm not sure if it's all natural for him or he actually does a bit. But we'll just hopefully get back into it and return to the 8, hopefully.
So yeah, so get back to the 8. So you're really excited for the season 2021. What position will you be playing, mate? Will you still be on the wing? Are you looking to sort of expand your game a bit, maybe a bit more forward, bit of half back?
Yeah, probably all that. Mainly on the wing, but then try and add some strings to my bow and try some other positions. See how we go. Maybe if I'm kicked out of the wing, maybe just need to try something new. So I have to wait and see what happens.
Do you reckon there's like a little hidden gem in the Swans team? Because us Victorians probably keep less of an eye on the Swans compared to people in Sydney. Do you reckon there's a bit of a player that we should be looking out for next year or the years ahead?
He'll probably say himself.
No. Yeah, well, I like. He's not really too well. Everyone knows him, but I like the Liz. I reckon he's an X factor for the team. Got the best kick in the AFL and slithers around. So I reckon he's the one to watch.
Nick Blakey, yeah, fair mate. He's a very, very talented player. But I guess I'd love to know, because obviously you were a little bit of a draft, like you were a draft bolter, you really came into it in your draft year. Do you sort of feel bad for a lot of the kids this year in the fact that down in Victoria they didn't get the chances that like you got or a lot of people got, in that because you developed so much in your 18th year that there's going to be a lot of good players that probably miss out on being drafted? Yeah,
for sure. I definitely do. If I was in this case this year, I probably wouldn't get drafted either. So I didn't pop up until my 18th year. So yeah, definitely feel sorry for a lot of them. Hopefully they maybe get a chance next year to do something instead. Maybe they get a 19-year-old, or maybe something happens with the rules of the league. So
yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Because there's been a bit of talk about raising the draft age to 19. Do you think that would be a good thing, or nah?
I reckon it's pretty good how it is, but I reckon maybe just for next year, maybe have something different so that they can get drafted, because obviously this year is just throwing a spanner in the works for a lot of them. But
yeah. Do you reckon in that final year where you kind of really had a rapid surge in your skills and just the level of footy you were playing at, do you reckon you had like a particular change to your mentality that you've kind of brought over to your AFL career and continued since? Maybe some tips for aspiring draftees?
Well, in my 18th year, it was more just maybe just letting myself know that I was good enough, really. You get selected for a reason, and they see something in you, so you just got to believe in yourself as well. And then probably correlates with the AFL as well. Once you get there, they've picked you for a reason, so just go out and try and get it done.
Yeah, mate. And also, I think it's that time, mate. We just want to set the record straight. So obviously on Dylan Friend's recent podcast with Tom Papley stitched you up a little bit and he reckons that you just couldn't last on the footy trip. Do you want to set the record straight there? You came home early because of that.
Well, oh yeah, there's only so much time you can spend around Tom, and there's only so many BOGs you can get him on nights out. So, yeah, well,
got him covered, you reckon?
No, he's not too bad, but we'll wait and see.
Mate, like,
we'll have to run it back.
Little, Channel 7 little snippet thing on YouTube, like this minute-long thing, and you accused Tom of being the biggest Justin Bieber fan at the club, and about 5 people accused you of being the biggest Bieber fan at the club. So you want to set the record straight there into your Justin Bieber?
I don't mind Bieber. So again, I'm not too sure what you're talking about, but but I don't mind Biebs. He's not bad. Like his song Holy. That's
mate, we're going to send you that many links after this bloody episode of things just to remind you.
You're going to have to, because I'm not sure if my memory's lost or what's going on.
Yeah, maybe we'll have one more listener question here. This one's from JJ. It's putting you on the spot a bit here, but he says, or it could be he or she says, you're going to be a Norm Smith medalist within 5 years. Give us a glimpse of your acceptance speech.
Well, hopefully it's true, because usually North Smith medalists are from the winning team. So hopefully we get there and get another chip. But I'd like to thank you boys for putting me on the map.
Yeah, mate, your Instagram's about to blow up after this. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, mate, it's going to be surging up. You reckon we should get into the quiz, boys?
Yeah, I reckon. This is it. This is what Justin's keen on. This is what he came on for.
This is what Justin came on for. Justin, have you heard about the quiz?
Never heard of it.
I think we can say that for most things. You've never heard of it. But our last segment on the show, we like to have a bit of a quiz between Lockie and our guest. So I've got 5 questions for both of you, and they're all vaguely related to your career. And your name's your buzzer. So just go with Justin or Lockie. And should we get started with question 1?
Let's go.
No worries.
Okay, so Justin, what's your birthday, just for the listeners?
The 18th of the 8th, 2000.
Okay, so the question is, which emperor was named top10s.net's history's 5th greatest ruler and died on August 18, 1227, before being returned to Mongolia?
Next. Bloody hell, mate.
Mate, he's pretty famous. If you know anything about history, you could have a crack. I reckon. Just name a Mongolian that you know.
I don't know any Mongolian. I know Mongolian chicken. The dish. That's about as far as my Mongolian knowledge goes, mate. I've got no idea. I'll leave this for Justin. He's the history buff.
Don't mind my history, but got no idea again.
You might have heard of him, Genghis Khan.
Oh.
Have you heard of Genghis Khan?
I've heard of the song Genghis Khan, yes.
The song Genghis Khan. I haven't heard of that one. How's that go? Want to sing it for us?
Nah, you're going to have to search it out.
Oh, jeez. Might be having to send us a link, mate. But question 2. So, obviously, you're a Marcellin boy. Michael O'Brien is one of Marcellin College's most notable alumni. Who is Michael O'Brien?
A former Marcellin student.
Can you tell me what he's famous for?
Nah.
He's a famous taxi driver.
That is incorrect. Justin, do you want to have a crack? I'll give you a clue. It's related to state politics.
He was the Premier of Victoria.
Premier of Victoria is incorrect. Lockie, do you want to have a crack?
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister is also incorrect. He's the Victorian opposition leader.
Goes to show how much we know about our politics.
Yeah, jeez. Anyway, this is a bit of a farce so far, but we'll go to question 3. So, of course, Justin, you were drafted at pick number 44. Actually, just before I ask the question, how good are you two at geography?
No.
Okay, well, I think the answer... I think you'll be able to get a few of these right. So, according to the United Nations, there are 44 countries in Europe. And we're going to switch between you two. So, just naming one each. Name as many as you can until you can't name them anymore. So, do either of you want to start?
France.
France, yep.
Spain.
Yep.
Germany.
That's what I was going to go with. I'll go Belgium.
Yep.
I was going to roll with that. Ireland.
Yep.
That's your homeland, isn't it?
Yes, Dad's homeland.
Yeah, same. I can get an Irish passport too. There you go, mate. We could be long distance cousins. I'll go Croatia.
Yep.
Scotland.
Oh, Scotland is incorrect. So, Lockie,
That's close.
If you get this right, Lockie, you've won the point. At the first point of the quiz.
Slovenia.
Slovenia is correct. Scotland is part of the UK, I'm afraid, Justin.
Oh, it's unlucky.
I haven't been paying attention, to Brexit, mate.
To what?
Brexit.
What's that?
It's the splitting of because Britain was part of the EU and then they signed this thing to leave.
Very nice.
This is some good content here. I think I can hear all the listeners tuning out.
What do your
right
parents
there.
teach? Because your parents are both school teachers, aren't they? What do they teach?
No, they don't teach anymore. They're principal and deputy principal.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, lovely. Okay, we'll move to question number 4. So, you're number 27, of course, for the Swans.
Special number, that one, isn't it?
Very.
So, the 27 Club is a list consisting mostly of popular musicians, artists, or actors who died at 27. Name just one member of this club.
River Phoenix.
Tupac.
I think they're both incorrect. So, but neither of you get the point there. But some famous answers might be Jimi Hendrix, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain. If you've heard of any of them.
Yep. Massive fan of Kurt. Do you know who Kurt Cobain is, Justin?
I do. In excess.
Yeah.
It's Nirvana.
Yeah, that'll be Nirvana, mate. But anyway, we'll move on to question 5. So, is it still 1-0, Lockie?
Yeah.
I think this is one of the. It's either the hardest quiz we've ever had or some of the worst answering we've ever had. But we'll move to question 5. But Justin, you're still in it because it's a who am I question.
Okay.
And I'm going to go down from 5 points all the way down to 1 point with a series of clues. And once you buzz in, you can't buzz in again until the other person gets it wrong.
Okay.
So I'll start with the 5-point clue. So I was born on the 14th of May 1969 in Ivanhoe, Victoria, which is around the same area you grew up, I believe.
Okay.
Prince of Viewbank, Justin is.
Yeah, I'll move on to the 4-point clue. After graduating from the National Institute of Dramatic Art, I took on stage roles in Electra in 1992 and Hamlet in 1994.
Keep going, champ. Keep going.
3-point clue. Okay, I've won 2 Academy Awards. One in 2005 and one in 2014.
What in?
No comment. I can't reveal that. I reckon they'll give it away. For the 2-point clue. So, Justin, you've got to get it here to win. I'm one of only 4 actresses to win the Academy Award for Best Actress after winning Best Supporting Actress.
Lockie.
Lockie?
I'll go Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep is incorrect. I don't think Meryl Streep grew up in Ivanhoe, mate.
Wait, I forgot about that.
Justin, do you have a crack at an Australian actress?
I don't know who it is.
Okay, I'll move on to the 1-point clue. Justin could draw it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the 1-point clue. I shot to international prominence for portraying Elizabeth I in the drama film Elizabeth in 1998 and have since become one of the most acclaimed actresses of my generation, seeing my net worth rise to about 125 million Aussie dollars.
Never seen Elizabeth.
Just a famous Australian actress. Do you know any Australian actresses, either of you?
I know. I think I know who it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll just open it up to both of you. Lockie, do you want to have a crack?
Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett is absolutely correct.
Well unlucky.
Too good, mate. Too good.
2-0.
Studied hard, mate. That's the key to success, mate.
Yeah.
Exactly. Put your head down.
Yeah, lovely.
Exactly.
Lockie's taking out that one, but I think we better wrap it up there. So, Justin, thanks very much for coming on, mate.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Been an absolute pleasure, mate. Chat soon.
It
Cheers.
has.
Wow, how good was that?
Justin McInerney was a great guy to speak to, and he's a great up-and-coming player, of course, as well. Just a real fun time, hey?
Yeah, cheers, Justin. Always love having a chat with you, and it was just awesome to talk about your draft story and your career so far. So cheers, mate.
Yeah, but I reckon it's time we plug the socials. Lockie, do you want to rip into the socials?
Yep, so you can find us on Facebook at Where Do We Begin, and you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at WDWBpod. That's WDWBpod, and I hope you're already following and subscribing. And also, I'd just like to quickly thank all our fans for putting together some fan questions. They were awesome, and we asked a lot of them this episode because there was plenty to get through.
Yeah, we were overwhelmed. We didn't even ask all of them this episode. So you were absolutely overwhelmed by the fan questions. And of course, Lockie didn't mention it before, but if you do like the show, please recommend us to your mates, whether that's via like a 5-star review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, or just word of mouth, because we absolutely love that. But Lockie, we're starting a bit of a new project. We're planning to do this for the next few weeks, or maybe even longer, next few months, next few years. We're trying to collaborate with some local musicians from all around Australia, because obviously musos have had a bit of tough time in lockdown, and we just like to help local up-and-coming artists. So we're going to be playing some artist songs at the end of each episode. Do you want to tell us about Jeremy we've got on today? Do you want to tell us a bit about his story?
Yep, so the song is titled You've Got Me, and Jeremy's got an awesome story. So after 4 years, he had undergone heart surgery, and it really made him consider what his priorities were in life. So he's still working as an accountant, but he decided to really put his passion into music. You can find him on YouTube at Music by Jeremy, and I really recommend checking it out. He's got some awesome stuff, and I think you guys will really enjoy it.
Yeah. So Jeremy's going to talk a bit about the song and himself. We're going to throw to him. But just before, thank you very much for listening, guys. We'll see you next Monday with another huge episode.
See you guys. Love ya.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. Thanks so much for listening to my song. I'm a Perth-based musician who's just starting out making music. The song's a love song that's about the best moments in my life. Those moments that seem to just go by so quickly, but you hang on to, and they stay with you. I hope that when you're listening to my song, you feel that same warmth and positivity that I felt. And if you're going through a tough time, I hope you hang in there. Thanks again for listening. Take care. Quiet night, staring at the stars with you. Moonlight dancing in your eyes, so true. Lying on the roof of my car, it doesn't matter where we are. Nothing feels out of place. The smile on your face, the bite of the air, you make my heart race. It just isn't fair. Now I found you. It's all true. Every word I heard on how it's supposed to be. Found you. We'll pull through against the tide. Our love is guaranteed. 'Cause I've got you and you've got me. Late night, going for a drive with you. Street lights, illumination lines so smooth. A look from you is all I need, and in this moment I'm complete. Nothing feels out of place. I wish it could.
never this way. Our secret embrace is all I can take. Now I found you, it's all true. Every word I heard on how it's supposed to be. And now I found you, we'll pull through. Against the tide, our love is guaranteed. 'Cause I've got you, and you've got it. All the time we spent looking for a love they sell, it was never worth the price to pay. And all the time we spent being nothing but ourselves, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like all of our regrets thrown away. It's all true. Every word I heard and how it's supposed to be. Supposed to be. Now I found you. We'll pull through. Against the tide, our love is guaranteed. As long as I'm alive, I'm yours to keep. The fire with no uncertainty. 'Cause I've got you, and you've got